How can we create a safe and protective environment in which children and young people can benefit from ICT? For that, we must consider the following basic principles.
1. Develop a relationship based on trust and communication. It is critical that we create a trusting environment in which children and young people know they can come to us without fear of being judged or punished for any problem. As adults, we must be able to calm them when they are afraid and offer them our support and guidance in problem solving.
2. Provide a home with an open, shared use area where electronic devices can be used. It is critical that we can monitor children's online behavior. What we cannot do is to stand next to them watching and reading what they do and write. This would not only be uncomfortable for them, but it would also have the opposite effect we want: distrust, a sense of being watched and judged. As a result, it is more important to observe their attitudes and reactions when they interact online. And if something catches our attention, we can approach them and ask if they are well. If they need any help, while remaining close to them, pay close attention to boundaries and the context in which they interact. When we want to improve one right, we sometimes violate another. For example, merely prohibiting children from communicating via networks violates their right to association and communication.
3. Spend time online learning about what interests them, what processes they are going through, and what games or applications they use. As we mentioned in the previous point, in order to avoid creating a distance in which young children feel judged, it would be interesting to use this as an opportunity to find out what they do, what motivates them, and how they do it. This will improve our communication with them and allow us to discuss what they do in the digital world in a more natural manner. It will also be an opportunity for us to introduce some concepts about internet and social networking safety.
4. Help them to develop the social and emotional skills necessary to be responsible digital citizens. When we consider the distance we have with other people when interacting, virtual social interactions can create a false sense of security. This can mean that when children and young people are online, they are more vulnerable to attacks from others or can become the aggressors themselves. As a result, it is critical to instill proper behavior in the network, such as respect, empathy, reflection, critical thinking, responsible behavior, and resilience.
5. Maintain a healthy balance of online and electronic device use and other activities. As children are being prepared to be self-sufficient as adults, their activities should be varied to allow them to learn, socialize, play, reflect, exercise, and do housework. As responsible adults, we must be able to communicate to them the importance of balance and diversity of activities.
6. Become familiar with the apps, games, and websites available and ensure they are appropriate for the child's age. Because technology applications and games are constantly evolving, it would be interesting to determine as responsible adults whether they are appropriate for their age. We can use the age rating provided by application stores such as Google Play as one of the criteria.
7. Ensure that games and apps are set up in such a way that the security levels correspond to the children and adolescents' ages. Make sure that the security settings are enabled and set to the highest level. When it comes to children, the most appropriate thing is for the responsible adult to ensure this. But when it comes to young people, perhaps the most convenient thing is to discuss the subject with them and guide them through the process.
8. Use parental control tools as a complement. These tools enable you to increase browsing security, filter out inappropriate content, manage internet usage schedule, and track the pages visited. As always, it is recommended to be flexible, particularly with adolescents, because excessive control may encourage them to connect to the internet in an unauthorized manner, thereby breaking the bonds of trust.
9. Pay attention to changes in children's behavior and speak quietly with them to determine what is bothering them. When children and adolescents are unable to fully communicate their fears, changes in behavior can serve as a signal for help. As such, we recommend observing them and having an empathic conversation with them to demonstrate that we are here to help them with whatever they require.
These principles should not be interpreted as restrictive standards that constrain development or infringe on rights. As caring adults, we must apply these principles in order to foster an atmosphere of trust and for children and adolescents to view us as allies that they can turn to in times of need.